Hey guys, Jamiy here, and today on Roblox we're playing some more Pokemon Brick Bronze, as you can see on screen right now. Today I'm going to be going over how to EV train and guys on how to EV train. Firstly, I'm going to tell you a few items that will definitely speed up the process. Also, firstly, if you don't have the Game Pass for the XP share, it's going to take you a lot longer to EV train, so I would definitely suggest getting that. What that means is that in your first slot, you can just run the Pokemon like my Metagross with like Bullet Punch or something with very high PP, just to keep KOing the Pokemon. I'd probably suggest something with like Bullet Seeds, like a Chinchino. It doesn't have to be skill link, just Technician is good enough to be able to hit multiple times. So that's something that I would definitely suggest. So those two are really good. But if you don't have the XP share, the whole purpose of your to do, say, let's say my Magmar needs EV training, so what I would have to do is lead off with my Magmar, then swap out mid-battle to my primary Pokemon, since usually when you are going to start EV train Pokemon, you're going to be at level 1, since you've just bred for them. But also, for example, my Magmar is randomly EV trained because I just have it in my party randomly, but if you don't have the XP share, that's what you have to do. You have to lead off with the Pokemon that you want to EV train, then swap out. So it's going to take you a lot longer, so definitely worth spending, I think it's like 50 Robux for the XP share. Definitely suggest it. Other than that, Row Powers is definitely very handy. You have the ×3 effort values, but again, if you don't have the Robux, you can just use the items that I'm going to show you really quickly, and they're pretty cheap, I guess, to a certain extent. So firstly, what I want to show is that if you haven't just bred a Pokemon that is ready to EV train, and let's say, for example, again, this Magmar has freaking terrible terrible EV spread, special attack and physical attack, and like HP and speeds. That's terrible. So what I can do is I can come to the Battle Coliseum and I can spend some of my BP, which you can see right here, on some of these HP, attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed resets. And what these does is quickly I'll buy just the HP one just to quickly demonstrate it. Let me just buy that. And then what I can do is I'll quickly show you again the HP stat of my Magmar. And as you can see, it's got 99 EVs. What I can do then is go and use the HP reset that I just bought. I think it should be under medicine. I can use it on my Magmar, and the efforts was reset. So now if I go check out the EVs again, which again, also forgot to mention, if you don't have the calculate, or you don't have the Game Pass for stat, or the improved stats Game Pass, it's very difficult to do this, so you'll have to have your friends help you check out. So if you don't have it, have the improved stats Game Pass, have a friend check your EVs for you. If they're all 0, you can start EV training. All you have to do is just calculate on how many Pokemon you've beaten. Although buying the start improved Game Pass is definitely a recommended. I would probably do that again. It is more Robux, but at the end of the day, it's definitely worth it if you are wanting to make competitive Pokemon. But as you can see, the HP EVs were reset, so that is what you want to start to do. You want to make sure that your Pokemon is on 0 EVs before you start EV training it. So once we've done that, a few items is this. So you can come to the Battle Coliseum again, and if you scroll down past these, you can go below all of these, and you'll come towards, when I find it, where is it? This. So it's right between Life Orb and upgrades. It's almost like halfway up the list, just before the TMs. You want to buy yourself a couple of Macho Braces. They do cost 120 BP, either that you have to battle a ton, or again, spend more Robux, which honestly, it does take a long time, but like, again, it is definitely worth it. There's a better way to a different item than Macho Braces, but Macho Braces is just like one of the easiest things to use, so you don't have to keep swapping out items and then forgetting. Macho Brace, if you don't know what it does, if you give it to your Pokemon that you're wanting to EV train, it will cut the speed in half when it is used in battle, but it will again double the effort values. For example, if I KO let me see, what Pokemon I have down? So if I KO Makuhita, that will give me 1 hit point. With Macho Brace equipped, I'll get 2 hit points for EVs. If I have Macho Brace, I KO Makuhita that will give me 1 hit point EV, and then on top of that I have the ×3 Row Powers on. I'll get that +1, which will be doubled, and then I'll get a ×3, so that means I'll get ×6, or I'll get 6 hit points EVs for killing that one Pokemon. So we're definitely using the EVs faster row power is definitely worth it, but if you don't want to spend Robux, you can do it without them, but it will take you a slightly bit longer. So Macho Brace is the first item. I'm going to quickly cut to when we get to some new items in the arcade, so I'll be right back in a second. Okay, now that we are at the arcade, we can show you the next item that is technically better than the Macho Brace, although in order to EV train every single start, you'll have to buy every single one of these items, whereas the Macho Brace, you can just double your EVs for every single start. But if you come to the arcade, we have the power items. We have the power weight, which is for hit points. We have the power bracer, which is for attack. The belt for defense, lens for special attack, bands for special defense, and the anklet for speed. So what these do is the exact same thing as the Macho Brace, but instead of doubling, every time we KO a Pokemon, we will get +4 effort values for whatever type of power item it is holding. For example, if it's holding the weight, every time I KO a Pokemon, I'll gain 4 EVs. If I have the ×3 row power on, that means I'll get 12 every time. So it's technically better than the Macho Brace, but like I said, you'll have to buy all 6 items. And if you wanted to EV train a full team at once, which if you want to EV train a full team at once, the XP share comes in handy. So then, for example, again, I'll quickly tell you that if you have 4 Pokemon that you're wanting to EV train the same stats, for example, if I want to train 5 chances in special defense, I can have my primary Pokemon, I can have all the chances with the power item for special defense, which is the power bands. If they all have that, every time I KO a Pokemon that will give me special defense, I'll get an additional +4, and since I'm times it by 3 with the row power, every single time I KO a special defense Pokemon, I'll get whatever they will give me, plus all of the Macho Brace's boosters. So technically, they are better than the Macho Brace, but you're going to have to buy every single one of them for each single stat, whereas the Macho Brace will work for all of the stats in one item. So it depends. It's definitely a lot quicker to buy the power items, although again, they are 1500 tickets each, so yeah, so it's going to be a lot of tickets that you have to grind for. So you can make up your mind which ones you would rather want, but the power items are definitely quicker, although like I did say, it's going to cost you a little bit more to get them all. So that's pretty much it for the helpful items. If I'm missing anything, which I don't think I am, I think those are all of the items. Again, I have all of the power items and the Macho Braces. I just bought a ton of them because I do EV train a lot of Pokemon at a time rather than one at a time. So it's obviously, it just makes it a little bit easier to do. So that's pretty much it for the items. Now, how EV training works, which is going to be difficult to explain, so you'll have to bear with me, okay? So for example, I'm going to use a few of my Pokemon that are in my party for examples. And I'm going to try and put up on screen if possible to make it a little bit easier, but every single Pokemon can have effort values. Now, this number of effort values can cap off. Every single Pokemon can have a total of 510 effort values over all of their stats. However, you can EV train it however you like. So, now keep in mind, 510 stats in completion or in total of every single stat. Now this means you can run it differently. You could run a HP, a defense, and special defense. You don't have to limit yourself to just 2 like my Metagross has. The reason why my Metagross is like this and in speed and attack is because when I Mega Evolve my Metagross, it is very quick and can hit very hard, so I'm going to give its best stats the chance to be even better. So like I said, 510 maximum effort values per Pokemon, but per stat, you can have, out of those 510, you can have 252, which is why I have 552 on my speed and my attack. So this is the cap for every stat, but on every Pokemon you can have 510. So I'm going to quickly show you my Mandibles now, which is EV trained differently, because it's meant to be a tank. So this is my Mandibles, you can see with a careful nature, which is minus special attack, plus special defense to give me an even bigger boost to my special defense. If I show you the EVs, I have 104 effort values into HP, 216 into the defense, and 190 into the special defense. If you calculate all this, it's going to equal 510. So that's great. So that is all you have to do. You don't have to limit yourself to just 2 stats, but usually for most Pokemon it will be limited to 2 stats. For example, if they're quick, then you want speed. If they're a special attacker, you would probably want special attack, and if they're a physical attacker, obviously you want physical attack. So usually, like I said, my Infinite is speed and attack. You can run Charizard as speed and special attack, or speed and attack depending on which Mega Stone you have. Mega Y wants speed and special attack, Charizard X wants speed and physical attack. Another Pokemon, for example, is Alola Ninetales, speed and special attack, since those are the 2 highest stats. So that's pretty much that. Another example is that you don't have to run Metagross exactly like I did. You can, since it does have a good bulkiness to it, run it HP and attack, and then give it agility to help it speed stats, since obviously speed is really high. Given agility, that means it can outspeed everything, and it can tank a load of hits. So there's also no good option. It just depends on what your Pokemon really wants. So that's that. So now that's been explained, I'm going to tell you what every single effort value means. So at level 100, every effort value, every 4 effort values will equal 1 stat increase. So for example, because I have, let me quickly get my calculator out, because I have 252 effort values into my attack, if I divide that by 4, then when my Metagross hits level 100, I will get 63 plus attack on my physical attack. So that's that. So for example, if I'm level 50, I just need to cut that in half, so that'll be 31.5 to my attack. Because it's level 80, it works a little bit differently, but at level 100, that'll be that. Which is why having 6 HP stats isn't really going to do anything, because I've already, what 4 is. So pretty much when you're EV training in 2 stats, you're going to have leftovers of 6, since also 252 plus 252 is going to equal 504, so that means you got 6 left, but only 4 of those are going to be usable on any other stat, which usually most people just put into HP because it's not really that needed, and it's not really going to impact you too much. But that's pretty much the basics of EVs. Obviously, effort values are going to give you a different amount. If you pair the effort values up with your IVs, that's going to give your Pokemon even more stat increases. So for example, I believe every individual value equals 1 stat increase. So if I have 1 speed, 1 speed on my IVs, I'm only going to get plus 1 speed. If I have 31 IVs in my speed, I'm going to get 31 stat increases to my speed. So obviously, the more IVs I have, the better my stats are. The more EVs I have in a stat is going to improve that stat a lot more. So that's why you want to use our EVs for the best stats possible. For example, you can run different sets. I gave the example speed and attack for a Mega Metagross. For a normal Metagross, I would probably suggest HP, attack, or attack and defense, since its physical defense is a lot higher than its special defense and HP. So you can run it however you want. That's pretty much the gist of what your limit is on effort values per single Pokemon. But that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to get on to every single EV training location and what is the best spots for you to be able to EV train these Pokemon. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so now we're going to go over every location so you can EV train every single stat. HP or hit points, attack, defense, special defense, and speed. We're going to start off and just go in the order that they are placed in the IVs area. So firstly, we're going to do hit points, which is on Route 14. So what we're going to do is fly to Floruma City. So really quickly, just fly here, and then follow wherever I go, and we'll get to Route 14 if you don't know already where it is. So quickly bring up the hoverboard and just quickly head over there, which is in this direction. But once we enter through here, then we'll be on Route 14. Now in this area, there's no specific trainer to EV train HP on, unfortunately. However, there are some other trainers for other stats. But for HP, right now we have to do it in the wild. So now that we're on Route 14, there are 3 different Pokemon that we can get HP EVs from. So like I mentioned, make sure your Pokemon make sure that you've used the stat resets on your Pokemon to make sure that they're on 0, unless you've already started EV training and you want to do HP now. So then, what you're going to do for HP is that you're going to look for these 3 Pokemon. Makuhita, which will give you 1 hit point EV every single time. Again, with the Macho Brace, that'll be 2 hit points. With the HP... with the HP power item, you'll get +1 for the Makuhita, +4 from the power items. So that means you get +5, and then obviously the additional real powers if you are running them. So that's going to give you +5 with the power item, +2 with the Macho Brace. Other than Makuhita, the best 2 wild Pokemon in this area are Loudred and Clefairy. Loudred is obviously is just roaming in here, and so is Clefairy. If you find them, they will both give you 2 hit points rather than +1, so you're getting doubled. So obviously with the Macho Brace you'll get +4 HP effort values. With the power item you'll still get +6, since you'll get 2 from the Clefairy, +4 from the HP power item. So that's pretty much for the HP. All you have to do is just run around. I'll quickly just run around. There are a lot of Pokemon in this area, but those are the 3 Pokemon that you only want to KO. For example, Nosepass will give you defense EVs. So obviously what we want to do is run away, because we don't want those EVs. Then we just keep running around in circles until we find the Pokemon that we do want. Then we KO them. If you don't have the XP share Game Pass, then what you have to do is start off with the Pokemon that you want to EV train, and then withdraw it into the Pokemon that can just KO it. So once we've done that, then we can move on to that. So that is HP. Next we will go on to attack, which is on Route 11. So this is a more difficult area to get to, since you it's going to take you the longest, I guess it would be the better term to use. So what we want to do is we want to go quickly fly to our location. So quickly fly to Ardea City. Once we're at Ardea City, we want to go back to Route 11. I'm going to quickly activate a max repel if I have any. So I'm going to quickly go check. I do. I'm going to activate one of these just so I can get through the desert without finding any Pokemon. So quickly follow me. So for attack, that is also one of the better ways to EV train and the quickest ways to EV train, because actually you can use a trainer. This trainer actually gives you a lot of money as well, so you actually EV train attack and get a lot of money for this. So what I'll quickly do is just follow where I go and just go all the way through this route to this guy over here with a grey hoodie, just standing next to a cactus. You can battle him, and also I'll quickly just do it myself. Once you battle him, you'll have 2, is it crocodiles? No, Crocoroks, 2 Crocoroks and a Cacnea, I believe. So we'll quickly just KO all these Pokemon. So Krokorok is a second evolutionary Pokemon, so that means it will give us 2 attack. So that is 2 attack. I'm going to quickly just bullet punch it and KO it. The next Pokemon should be a Cacnea, if I remember correctly. I guess we'll see. A Trapinch, so that, oh, it's a Trapinch, not a Cacnea, so I think Cacneas are in the wild, that's why, but here is the Trapinch. We can just bullet punch that again. Since Trapinch is a first evolution, that'll give us +1 attack EV. So right now we're sitting on +3 for attack EVs. And then the last Pokemon is Krokorok again. So quickly just press no against that. So that means we're going to get another additional +2. So that means we're going to be getting ourselves 5 attack EVs for 1 trainer. With the Macho Brace, that'll mean +10. With the attack power item, that means we'll be getting +4 for every single Pokemon, so that is +12 alone, plus the 5, so that means we'll be getting ourselves 17 EVs with the attack power item. And obviously again, with the real powers, you're going to get a lot out of that. So that is it for attack. Let's go on to the next area, which will be defense, which I would highly suggest something with Technician and Bullet Seed. Bullet Seed is usually the best one, the best move for it, because it has 30 PP, so you can use it a ton of times before having to go heal and get the PP back. But for defense, we're going to move over to Kragonos Cliff. Once here, I'm going to go quickly grab myself my Chinchino, since it's very easy to use to be able to beat this trainer, since he does have some sturdy Pokemon. So also keep that in mind, so that's why we are going to bring our Chinchino, which is right here. Once we have this, we're going to quickly follow where I go again. The trainer is not too fast, so also we have to go through one patch of grass, which is right in front of us, and that is it. So what we want to do is follow this. And this is the trainer down here that you want to battle for defense. So what we want to do over here is quickly battle him. He'll have a Geodude, a Graveler, and a Golem. The Geodude has a sturdy ability, and so does the Golem. The Graveler just has, I believe, Rock Head, so you can just one-hit KO it. So we're going to start off with our Chinchino. Again, we can just quickly KO all these Pokemon with Bullet Seed, since it'll hit multiple times, bypassing the sturdy ability to make it a little bit quicker. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. It just means that it's going to take you 2 extra turns to beat this guy. So that means we're going to get +1 defense from the Geodude. We will get +2 defense from the Graveler, and +3 from the Golem. So that means in total we'll be getting 6 effort values. With the Macho Brace we'll be getting +12. And with the defense power item we will be getting 10 EVs. +4, so 14, so 18 EVs. I only did it for 1 Pokemon, so again, it's for free. So that means we'll be getting 18 effort values with the defense power item. So also, again, that's a good amount. Usually for the trainers that give you the better effort values are usually the best ones, since obviously you can just rebattle them by leaving the route. Or a special trick that I use to EV train, so I don't have to move at all, is that you can just leave the server, well, have autosave turned on, save, leave the server, rejoin. Or what you can do instead is you can do this. Also, about the trainer, if I were to go to RTD and search player, and I type in my own username, like that, press enter, I can join myself off of this, it will save, I'll be back in the same spot that I saved on, and I can rebattle the trainer over and over again. But that is it for defense. Now we are going to go on to special attack, which unfortunately is the worst place to EV train, unfortunately. Well, it's the best place to EV train in the game, but it's the worst stat to try and EV train because of how long it takes and how slow it is compared to every other stat. So what we want to do is go to Brimber City. Once at Brimber City, we want to make our way to Mount Igneous, the volcano. So what we want to do is come over this way. I got stuck in the floor, that is great. But we want to come over this way. I'll just use this again. Okay, and once we are over here, we're going to make our way to the Mount Igneous. So again, quickly pull up the hoverboards, make our way through all these trainers, and into the Mount Igneous. So when we are in the Mount Igneous, we have 3 Pokemon that we can EV train off of. The reason why this is the slowest of every other stat is because there's only 3, but only one of them give you +2 hit points for every single time you KO them. I mean, 2 special attack. So the first one is Slugma. Slugma will give you 1 special attack effort value. So with the Master Brace you'll get 2. With the special attack power item you'll get +5, obviously. The other one special attack Pokemon is Numel. So you have Slugma and Numel, which will both give you 1 hit point, and Heatmore, which will give you 2 special attack EVs every single time you KO them. So one of the slowest ones, quickly again, I've got the Max Repel on, so again, the reason why it's the slowest is because there's only 1 Pokemon that will give you +2 special attack EVs in this cave. But that is how to EV train special attack. Again, with the Master Brace and the power items, you can get those increases. So definitely make sure to use them if you haven't. If not, it's going to take you a lot longer than without using them. So once we've done special attack, we can move over to special defense. Now special defense is actually one of the, again, one of the more difficult ones, same as the special attack. So we're going to make our way over to Rose Cove City, and what we want to do is make our way over to Route 10. So I'll quickly follow where I go to get to Route 10. And come over here. So this is Route 9, which is actually going to be for special defense, no, for speeds. But right now we're going to do special defense, which I'll also get into first. So then once in Route 9, also go to the left of the grey/white tree and make your way over here. No, we don't need that on anymore. Okay, go for the route extender, and once you are on here, or once you are in the Route 10, make your way to the flower patch, which is to your immediate left. The rest of the patch grass, the grass patches aren't going to have the exact same Pokemon, but if you go into this patch of grass, you're going to have different Pokemon. So in this one, you want to KO Spoink and Hoppips, which will both contain 1 special defense EV. Again, with the Master Brace you'll get 2, with the special defense power item you'll get +5. And then also you can KO Floettes, which will give you 2 hit, I keep saying hit points, special defense. When you KO them, obviously with the Master Brace you'll get +4, with the power item you'll get +6, so obviously that's that. So Floettes and Hoppips and Spoinks are the way to go for the special defense in Route 10. And then lastly for the speed stat, which is in Route 9 again, and is also another trainer. So you have 3 stats that have trainers, and then the other 3 are just in the wild, unfortunately. But yeah, the trainers are a lot quicker than the wild Pokemon. But once we are in Route 9, follow my directions. So this time we want to go to the right of the tree, and this is the trainer that we want to battle. So I'm going to quickly battle him. Make sure I have my Chinchino, just because also it just has a lot of PP, I'd rather use that. But once we battle this guy, I believe he has a Pichu, a Linoon, and a Grovyle. So here's the Pichu. Pichu will give you 1 speed effort value, so we're going to quickly just bullet seed that. And then we're just going to one-hit KO that. Perfect. So there's 1 hit point. I mean, speed. I'm sorry if I said hit point. I probably said them for a lot. I just kind of realized that now. Okay, next is the Grovyle. Because Grovyle is a second evolution, that will give us +2. And then for the Linoon, which will give us +2 speed as well, because it is a second evolution again after Zagoon. So we're going to Bullet Seed it again. So that means from this trainer we'll get 5 speed effort values. With the Macho Brace we will get +10. With the power item for speed we will get +5, +4, +4, +4, which will mean we'll get 17 speed EV. So the trainers are definitely the best way to go. Unfortunately, like I said, hit points, special attack, and special defense don't have any trainers yet. Hopefully in the future, but those are pretty much all the locations on where to EV train. So that's pretty much it. I think I've went over all the items. The game passes, definitely would make sure to get them if you haven't already. If not, you're going to struggle a lot more than if you didn't have them. But that's pretty much how to EV train with all the locations. Like I said, the Macho Brace and the power items are a lot better, although you have to spend a lot more Robux or a lot more time to be able to get them rather than the Macho Braces. But that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and like always, I'll see you guys next time.